Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Favi, and welcome to Arrows DIY. On my channel, I like to do Dollar Tree DIYs, high-end dupes, thrift flips, and the occasional trashy treasure. Today I'm going to be showing you 5 ideas for your home decor as part of the 5 under $5 challenge. These ideas are super easy to make, and they're in the neutral farmhouse aesthetic. They fit perfectly into my home decor with little hints of gold. I hope you enjoy and find an idea or two for your home decor, and if you like what you see, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're interested. Now let's get started. For DIY number 1, I'm going to be using the snowman wreath. I found this during the summer, believe it or not, in a Dollar Tree far away. So don't forget to stop by your Dollar Trees when you're out of town. Now I'm going to take this flour sack towel. For this particular DIY, you'll need about 3 of them, or 4, depending on how full you want this wreath. I'm going to open up the flour sack towel carefully, long ways, and we're going to cut 1-inch strips. Roughly 1-inch strips. I mean, I didn't measure anything. This is going to be a very shabby wreath. I wanted it to feel airy, ethereal, with organic texture. So once you cut out all these strips, we're going to open them up, and you will notice that there will have 2 layers. So they're going to be, I guess, 2 ply of the fabric strip. So we're going to go ahead and make 1 knot in the center of this strip, and this is just going to help it fill the wreath better. So now I'm just going to place the knot that we just made in the center of the strip under the wreath form and just form another knot right on top. And it's just as simple as that. I'm going to continue the same process, just opening up the strip, making a knot in the center, nothing fancy, very simple, and then we're going to put the knot under the wreath form and then knot it 1 more time. I do tighten the knot later on in the process, and the more you handle this fabric, it starts to fray, and I really like the rustic feel it gives this wreath. But you'll see at the end, it's super airy, and I really like this wreath. And I love snowmen, so if you love snowmen as much as I do, hit the subscribe button, because I always make snowman decor. I'll actually link my unusual snowman video right above here if you're interested in checking that out. So like I said, we're going to use 3 of these flour sack towels. And if you can't find these flour sack towels, you could totally use any fabric you have at home. Sometimes I use spare bed sheets, like old bed sheets, or just clothes that I'm just not going to use anymore. So check out your local thrift store for really cool fabrics, and you can get good quality material for a good price after a really good wash. So I'm not going to fill the neck portion of this snowman because I'm going to fill it with scarf. So now for the head, we're going to cut the strips that we cut out in the beginning. We're going to cut those in half, and we're just going to knot it straight onto the wreath form without making the first knot. So this will make this a little smaller, so it's obvious that it's a head. I wanted the shape of this snowman wreath form to be obvious from far away. So I'm just going to continue making 1 knot all around this wreath form. Now for the hands, I wanted them to be wrapped in twine. So I'm just going to take some jute twine, and I'm going to knot it to the wreath form itself, securing it with a double knot with a little tiny bit of hot glue. So I wrap it along the bottom there. I wrap it on his little arm, I guess, and then I go to the thumb of the snowman. And I just add little bits of hot glue onto the other twine. So basically I'm hot gluing the twine to the twine, not so much to the wreath form itself. So once I finish covering his thumb, I go back to his arm, I guess, the arm portion of the snowman, and then I make a new knot, secure with hot glue, and continue to the full length of his fingers. So if you're new here, I'd like to welcome you. My name is Fabi, and I'm a busy mother of 5, and I love to DIY whenever I get a chance. I think it's a great way to add personality into your home decor, and I love making unique home decor. So I love the farmhouse aesthetic. As you can see today, my video is farmhouse, but I also like shabby chic, and I like, what else do I like? I like it all. I'm very eclectic in my home decor. So if you're interested in those things, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget. And I'm gonna stop saying that, but I know sometimes we forget to hit that button, and it's totally free. It's totally free to join the Arrows DIY crew, and we would love to have you join us. And I have one more video after this for winter, and then I'm going to be moving on to spring. So if you like this video today, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And once I have his full hand wrapped up in the twine, I do the same thing to the other hand. So now this is the point where I am moving it around. I'm tightening all of the fabric strips and securing those knots well. I don't hot glue it because I change out my home decor a lot, and I would like to reuse these fabric strips in the future. So I don't hot glue anything, but you could totally hot glue it if you want to do that. You could also dye these if you wanted a certain color to fit your home decor. You could totally dye these as well. Alright, so once I was happy with the position of all of these, I added a little tiny bit of hot glue just to cover the base of his arm, just in case, you know, the wind blows. I didn't want the black of the wire wreath form showing at all. And I did that to both sides. So now I'm going to be using some of this shelf liner. Now my friend CeeJ, she uses shelf liner for her wreaths, and they're absolutely gorgeous. CeeJ's the guest host this month for the 5 for 5 challenge, so be sure to check out CeeJ's channel at CeeJ DIY. I'll leave her link in the description box below. And this video is actually part of the 5 for 5 challenge hosted by Emily from Farm Charm Chic and Missi from Crafty Cove. I'll also leave their links in the description box below. So I cut a piece of that shelf liner, and it's a gripped material. So the piece that I cut out was 12 inches by 5 inches, and then we're just going to cut that in half lengthwise just to make it thicker. Now I'm going to put it underneath the hat portion of the wreath form, and I'm going to slide it. I'm going to tuck it into that first rectangle on the left, and then I'm going to take it out of the other rectangle on the other end. Hopefully you can see what I'm saying. I made the shelf liner a little bit bigger so that it would create that ruffle. I wanted it to be shabby, and I really like how it looks. And you don't need to adhere anything to it because the grip in the shelf liner holds it in place. So now we're going to cut another piece of shelf liner, and this one's going to go vertical. So I did have to clean up the edge a little bit, but I believe this one is about 2 inches and a half by the same 12 inches. Well, 12 inches by 2.5 inches. And we're just going to tuck it under the wreath form and run it over, kind of like, okay, so we're gonna wrap it around the wreath form from the back, starting from the back. And then we're gonna tuck it into the middle of the first piece we put in there. And it is a little tricky because it's gripped, but I wanted it to have that ruffled effect. So hopefully you can see what I'm saying. And I apologize if I make no sense at all. But you can cover this part however you want to. You could literally just hot glue it flat, but I wanted that ruffled 3D effect. So now I'm gonna take some of this nautical rope, also from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to trace the rim of the hat, as well as the entire hat form. Yeah. Okay, so once that's done, this was very simple to do. I wanted it to be rustic. And I like using Dollar Tree supplies just for your convenience, but feel free to use anything you have on hand. I'm participating in No Junk January, which is started by my friend Jerry at A Happy Hoarder. And basically, it's just about not spending, not going out to the store and buying stuff. So I'm using everything in my stash. I literally use all the snowflakes I have left in my decor in this video. So I gave a lot of ideas in this video on how to use any leftover snowflakes. All right, so I got these snowflakes from the Dollar Tree, and it comes in a pack of 4. And I just took them off that string they came in, and I just tied them. I connected them by a jute twine on top. So I just did that by making a knot on top. And it's very important to have that knot right on top so they fall properly. So just make sure the top of the knot is right on top. I know it it sounds like really obvious, but it really is very important because it needs to fall right. Okay, so now I make loops on both ends, and I always secure any jute twine knot with a dot of hot glue. So you can make this any length you want. Now this took me a long time because I couldn't decide on how long I wanted this garland to hang. So at first I thought I wanted it super long, so I made it longer, but then later on it was bothering me, so then I had to go in and make some adjustments. Now for the hat, I wasn't sure what to do here. I thought I wanted a snowflake, but I needed something more interesting. It just wasn't doing it for me. I mean, it's cute, but it just wasn't, I don't know. I felt like it was still lacking. So I wanted to use these that I also had in my stash, because when else am I going to use this? Let It Snow. So I just took an opportunity for the theme today of Let It Snow to use all my Let It Snow wood boards, because they would just sit in my stash. And this is No Junk January. Okay, so I decided to tuck that snowflake half right on top there, and I cut it using my miter shears because I tried with the scissor and it was cracking the wood. So now I took the half of the half, so I guess the quarter piece of the snowflake, and I just tucked those into the sides as well, and I was super happy with this effect. I feel like it made it more interesting and added more of that rustic wood texture. You could totally paint these or stain them. I just like the look of natural wood. So I do that in many of the DIYs today. I don't paint all of the wood because I like this color. But like I said, feel free to do whatever you like for your project. This is just inspiration, some ideas, and you could totally use anything you want to make this happen in your home. So I just secure them using hot glue. I use Gorilla Hot Glue. I am not sponsored. I just really like that glue. And it holds with many different materials. And I use a high temperature glue gun. So this is the part I was telling you. I got super fussy with the garland and I was annoying myself. But I just remedied it by tying little loops in between. And yeah, it turned out okay. I didn't know I was so fussy, but I guess I am sometimes. It was one of those days where, I don't know, I just needed it to be perfect, I guess. Okay, so once I got that all done, I just cut off those loops on top and I secured them with hot glue. And at this point, I was happy with how these snowflakes were hanging about. And I think that's it for this snowflake wreath. I totally love it in my home. My kids love it. Oh wait, that's right, he needs a scarf. Okay, so I just used the rest of that shelf liner and I folded it lengthwise 4 times. And I, just moved the little knots we made. I slid them away from the neck area And then I just, folded in his scarf. And this was another fussy moment, so I'm not going to show you all the details, but basically I just folded over and I hot glued it a little bit. I secured it with hot glue. At first I dovetailed the ends, but it was giving me like Halloween vibes. So then I just decided to make just one slanted, clean cut edge. So I don't know, like half a dovetail. What is that called? When you just cut one line diagonally. Yeah, it was giving me like Freddy Krueger vibes. So I just went ahead and I like this way much better. But you gotta let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this DIY? Would you try this DIY? And I know you might not find the snowman wreath form because I was so shocked to find it, but I just grabbed one. But if you had this, would you do this? And you could probably build this from smaller wreath forms, just putting them together with some zip ties. All right, so for DIY number 2, this is another item I got at Dollar Tree, a DIY ornament. And I will never, I mean, I pick up things at Dollar Tree and I'm like, oh, this is so cute. But really, would I use them? I don't know. So I'm glad I got to participate today because now I got to use it and I totally love this DIY. So I'm gonna take this, and at first I wanted to make kind of like a swag to come out of the sleigh, kind of like snowflake are coming out of the bottom of this sled, but it just wasn't working out. So I took this eucalyptus from the Dollar Tree and I just manipulated all of the wire stems away from each other, just giving more space and adding more, just making it fuller. So now I'm just gonna make shabby bows, and I just used what I had on hand. So this is some mesh tubing from the Dollar Tree, the brown mesh tubing, and I also have this beige, like this off-white lace from the Dollar Tree, and just some white lace I got from BB Craft that I just had in my stash, and I cut everything into about 5-inch strips. Now I'm gonna take some jute twine, and to hold it in place, I just used my scissor and a pencil. It just keeps the twine from, being twine and going crazy on me. And now I'm just gonna take 2 of each. I would recommend putting triple the amount of the white because I end up doing that later on. But I basically just put 2 of each, making sure that the scallop ends are facing away from the center. And then I just tie it off in the center there. When I tie off the twine, I always secure it with hot glue. And I also secure it with a little bead of hot glue. So using the twine tails, I just secure those to the eucalyptus branch. So essentially, I'm kind of trying to make some shabby bows that are kind of like snowflakes in theory. So they're like shabby snowflakes, a shabby bow. That's kind of like where I was going with this. But I think it turned out really cute. So I just went ahead and I tied them, I double knotted them to the stem, and then I secure them with hot glue. And I did that for all the stems. I'm not going to show you all the stems, but I did the same thing. Now, once that was all full, I was kind of second guessing my original idea because it just wasn't giving me what I was envisioning. So I scrapped that idea and I just kept creating. Now I'm going to use these left over from my Christmas tree, and I got them at Dollar Tree. They are the white snowflakes. So I just glued those to the shabby bows. And this just gives it more of the wintry snowflake vibes, which I really like. So I just hot glued them to the shabby bows all throughout this little swag. I also put a shabby bow right on top at the base of the stem. Now I'm going to go in with some antiquing wax, and I'm going to antique the words "Let It Snow." So I just used a little paintbrush and I just painted it. I just waxed it with this product, and I totally love this deep, rich color it gives. I do the words, but not the snowflake. So for the snowflake, I use some chalk paint and Adirondack white, and I just paint the little snowflake as well as the face of the sled. And this is a rough paint job. Like, I'm not trying to be perfect with this paint job. I'm just trying to help the "Let It Snow" words pop out. Now, when I was painting the snowflake, the chalk paint kind of got stuck in those little holes in the snowflake. So I used a little zip tie just to clean up the inside areas of the snowflake. And now I'm just trying to, again, be finicky and find the perfect place to put this word that would not annoy the living daylights out of me. So once that was done, it took way longer than you just saw. I am going to wrap the stem in twine, and I do add a little bit more twine to the base so that it looks more substantial. And I just secure it with hot glue, and I kind of made it a little bit more narrow as it got to the end. And then I left a little excess twine so that I could make a loop to hang it, because I wasn't sure how I was going to hang it at this point. But it all worked out pretty well. Now to attach the sled, we're going to just tie another piece of twine to that top of the swag. We're just going to attach a twine to that and loop it through that hanger on the sled. And then I'm just going to pull the sled down to kind of figure out the length that I want it. I want it to cover the top of the sled, but not the pointy portion. I think that's such a pretty feature, so I didn't want to cover that. So that's about it for this DIY. I totally love how this turned out. It's different for sure, but I think it's beautiful, and I'm so happy to hang it in my home. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this DIY, and I would love to know which one was your favorite DIY today. I think this is very farmhouse. Like, I'm getting the natural vibes through these colors. I really like the eucalyptus as well. And I really love the fact that I'm using stuff from my stash. That's my favorite part. I did not purchase anything for this challenge. I just used things I already had in my stash. Now for this next DIY, I'm going to use this sign that I got at Dollar Tree. The same place where I got that snowman wreath, really. And I love the galvanized words. Now in my home, I have a lot of neutrals. For this winter, really, I have a lot of neutrals. But I like mixing silver with gold. So that's my winter, my Christmas colors were kind of like silver, gold, and neutrals. So I love the silver galvanized letters, but I feel like I needed some gold. So I got this at Michael's recently for the after Christmas sale. I got this 70% off, and I love the papers in this pack. So I thought this one was perfect because it had a little bit of gold and white, and it also had little snowflakes, as you can see, and I totally love it. So I thought it was perfect. I used a glue stick, any glue stick. I usually use Mod Podge, but I was kind of in a rush today. So I just used a glue stick because I had one. So, okay. I go ahead and I add glue everywhere. Like everywhere, you want glue everywhere. Not missing any spots. And then I just pressed it on there. So once it was on there, I recently organized my craft room, so I can't find anything. It takes me 20 minutes to find any of my tools. I have to get used to it. So I couldn't find my brayer, but I just rubbed it with my hands. You could totally use a credit card, just carefully. And then I used my X-Acto knife to cut out all the edges. You could totally sandpaper it as well. But like I said, I'm a mother of 5 and I was in a rush, so I needed to get this done. Now to attach this galvanized word, I just used some hot glue as well as some E6000 in different spots, and I totally burned myself. So be careful because this galvanized metal sign gets really hot. So I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more to the right because I'm gonna add a bow, but it's fine. It turned out just fine. So I also got these at Michael's, these crystal shiny picks, and they were also, I think they were 90%, 70% off, something like that. They were definitely not the price you saw there. And I'm just going to open them up a little bit and place them in the middle of this burlap. Now this burlap is just some scrap burlap I had on hand, and it had the fray edges, and I love the rustic vibes it was giving me. So now I'm just going to attach two of these picks together in kind of like a bow, and secured with twine, of course, and a little bit of hot glue because we don't trust the twine. Sorry, we don't trust twine, so we have to hot glue it all the time. So I place that in the center of this burlap, and then I add a shabby bow because I had a ton. I made way too many shabby bows, but I'll definitely use them because I love them. So now we're going to take another piece of twine and we're going to run it under this burlap. And this is going to be a very strange shabby bow, but I love strange shabby bows. So you could totally add ribbon behind the pick if you want to. Now, once I kind of pulled the twine together, I just folded back about an inch on both sides of that burlap just to give it a cinch, like a cute shabby bow cinch. And then I pulled it tight. Now I'm just gonna double knot it, and then I'm just gonna add more hot glue and just a little bit more twine because it's kind of bulky in the center and I don't want it to go anywhere. So I do tie it a couple times extra. So once that's all done, I just fluff everything and open up the pick some more, and then I add it to the sign. But I'm trying to use my whole stash, like I said, and I felt like it was missing something because I just keep adding and adding and adding. If you're new here, you don't know that, but if you are not new here, you know that I love adding extra stuff to my projects, and I should probably stop, but I didn't. So I wanted to add this snowflake, but I like it. So I just go ahead and I hot glue that right where you saw. And I think it adds like a nice dimension, a nice feature. It's not really loud, like you can't really see it that well, but I can see it. Like, I mean, if you're right in front of it, you can see it. And I think it's a really sweet detail. Now I'm gonna take the hanger from the sign, the hanger that we cut off at the top, and I'm just gonna wrap it around to the center of this so we don't waste anything and to make it look more finished. So I just wrap it around about 3 times and then secure it with hot glue at the back. And I'm totally gonna take an eternity to fluff this off camera. And then I just hot glue it right at the center of that snowflake. Now I don't usually do bows off center. Like I usually like my bows like front row center, or the top row center, or bottom row center. But my sweet friend Mary Beth from MB Gray Designs, she advised me, I was asking her, I don't know where to put this bow. She told me to put it off to the side, and I'm happy with that. So thank you, Mary Beth, for that tip. I think it looks totally cute. But let me know, where would you have put the bow? But I like this. It's fun to try different things, you know? So I'm glad that I put this bow to the side like that. But let me know in the comments below what you think about this DIY. I staged it in the middle of like a thrifted tray that I got. So It adds more interest to that plain tray. But it's totally cute. Oh, now for this next DIY, I got this birdhouse at Michael's and it was $1. Can you believe that? This is a huge piece for $1. I was amazed. Anyways, I was super excited to create today. I'm sorry, my camera got weird. I don't understand technology. So now I'm gonna take some antiquing wax and I watered it down very, very much. So I would say probably 1 part antiquing wax to 4 parts water. Like, that's how watered down it was. Okay, so now I just paint the entire birdhouse in this stain, and I like that rustic texture, not too prominent. It kind of makes it look weathered, and I love that feel. So I'm obsessed with this little birdhouse. Now there's a lot you can do with this birdhouse, and I got 2, so I'm planning to make another one soon. So subscribe if you love this little birdhouse as much as I do. And I'm gonna go ahead, and now for the base of the birdhouse, I'm just going to add pure antiquing wax. I am not going to water that down. I want that rich antique color to come through. And I go all around the entire base as well as the bottom, because when I was creating this, I wasn't sure where I was going to put this in my home. I wasn't sure if I was going to put it on a stand or if I was going to hang it from the ceiling. I'm a little weird, guys. Okay, so I wasn't sure where that was going to go, so whatever, I just painted the bottom because I wasn't sure yet. Now if you make a little mistake and go on to the antiquing wax, just add water to the part where you added too much antiquing wax and it should come right off if you do it quick enough. Just add water with the paintbrush and kind of brush it out, and it dilutes it down. So I also painted the perch in the same antiquing wax color, and I love it so much. Now for the roof of this birdhouse, I wanted it to be a little different. So remember, you can choose whatever color you want, but I am not normal, so I picked this medium gray color and I mixed it with antiquing wax. In hindsight, I should not have used the lid of my antiquing wax, but it is what it is at this point. There's no going back. Do I regret it? Yes. Will you do this? No. Will you learn from my mistakes? Yes. Okay, so now I add a ton of antiquing wax. Now I was trying to darken the color, but I also wanted this gray color to be in the same color family as the brown. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but I wanted it to be warm as well. I wanted my gray color to be a little bit warmer, so I added antiquing wax to it. Now I just paint the entire roof of this birdhouse, and that is that. Once it's all covered, okay, so you don't want to, it doesn't matter if you do 2 coats or 1 coat, because I'm using a folk art color, and the folk art brand of paints are very rich in color. They have a very strong pigment, and we are also going to cover it with some white now, so it's not that important for it to be, you know, completely covered. Excuse me. Okay, I'm talking a lot. Okay, so now I'm going to take some white paint. I'm using the same chalk paint, the white Adirondack, and I'm using this sponge applicator because I find it easy to paint edges this way. In retrospect, I should have probably just painted the one edge of the sponge applicator. I usually just add paint on one side of the applicator so that I don't mess up my project. However, I'm telling you, it was a really, it's like I couldn't craft and piece this day. For some reason, every time I tried to do something, somebody called me. So I made a little bit of a mistake there with the white, but I just remedied it this way. I just added a little bit of antiquing wax on top of the white, and then I added some water to my finger, and then I went over that area with the water and with the antiquing wax, and it actually did a really good job. I don't even notice that little boo-boo ever happened. So now I go all around the edge of that roof, that's just to accentuate that scallop feature in the white. And once I did that, I wasn't sure if I was just going to add a little bit of snow to the top to make it look snowy, but then I just continue adding paint. So next time I do this project, I'll probably start that feature in the back of the house, because the back of the house is more like of a dry brush with the white, which I kind of like. But it turns out cute. I mean, I still like it. I just, I'm finicky. Okay, so now I added a little bit of snow where snow would naturally fall on top of that perch, as well as that little hole in the birdhouse, and all around the edges as well. Now I just had this from a previous project. It's just painted white, sealed with Mod Podge, and I also antique waxed it to distress it. And I decided to just hang this like this. Now it doesn't stick this way. I would strongly recommend using E6000 if you wanted this to be a permanent hold. But like I said, I change my mind way too often. So I usually pop it off when it's out of season and just use it for another DIY. But you do what you want for your project. Now I'm just gonna make a bow using my mom's, bow hack. I've used it in many of my previous videos, like my last winter video. I can link that video right here up in an iCard for you if you're interested in more home decor for winter. But I called it the Francesca Mom Bow Method, my mother, Francesca. And it's really helpful when you're trying to make many perfect bows. It helps them all be in the same size. So now I'm just using some twine to secure this, and I like this method as well because it's totally free to make. I mean, most of us have a box at home, and I just made this using a box just laying around. So all right, so we're just gonna secure this as tight as we possibly can, double knotting, securing with hot glue, and then I'm gonna dovetail the bottom of this bow after I slide it off. So obviously we're gonna fluff the bow, we're going to fix the tails, we're going to make it pretty, and then I was trying to be mindful to not take off too much of that snowman. I also got this ribbon on sale at Michael's for 70% off, and I really like it. It's like high quality wired ribbon. I never buy high quality stuff. I know, but I love to catch the sales. And if I find something, I don't shop too often. That's a thing also. So that's what I mean by I don't really buy high quality stuff. Not that I don't like high quality, it's just I don't really have a chance to run out to the store just for craft supplies, I'm a very busy mom. All right, so then I take some more of those snowflakes and I just add a little feature on the back of this bow, and then I add a ton of hot glue because I kind of thought it made it look like crystal on top, kind of like a icicle. And then I just hot glued that like so. Oh, I also added a little berry from a berry pick from Dollar Tree. It was literally the last berry I had on hand from Christmas decor. And I like how it turned out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But I think this one's my husband's favorite because he keeps talking about this birdhouse. So it's a win in my book. Now for DIY number 5, I got this idea from my friend Jerry. I saw her make it in a previous live. I can link her channel and her video where she made one of these and in the description box below. And this is Jerry from A Happy Hoarder. She's so inspiring. She's such a sweet friend. And she made one of these and I loved it so much, and I had the supplies on hand, so I was like, yeah, we're gonna make this. So I just went ahead and used some twine. As you can see, I wrapped it around twice and then I double knotted the twine. Now the fun part of this project is you can hang whatever you want off of this, and it's really just a collection of whatever you have. It's really hard to make this look, bad. If you're into farmhouse, into that rustic, organic look, which I know a lot of us are into that woodland look. So I think this is great for that aesthetic. I am just showing you here that this one is 1 foot. I don't really measure often, but I do, just so you guys, in case you want to recreate them. But this is roughly what I do for all the strands. I don't measure again, I'm just showing you one time. I made one of them 7 inches and the other one 12 inches. And you're just gonna roughly estimate the length of these twine. I add, I think, about 5 or 6 of these strands on there. And this is like basically like a snow collage, like a snowflake collage on this stick. So I hope you guys like these ideas today, and if you do, let me know in the comments below. If you're new here coming over from the playlist, let me know, say hi. I would love to meet you. I also have an Instagram if you guys want to check it out. It's Arrows DIY, one word. And I also share some of my projects on there, and I get kind of silly on there as well, so just a warning. Alright, so then I go ahead and add these strands all over. So I space these about 7 inches apart from each other, roughly. Like I said, I don't really measure often, but it turned out pretty cute. I mean, if I could go back, I would probably cut off the hangers on the snowflakes. I'll show you in a second what I mean. I don't know if I would do that again. I'll show you in a bit what I mean. So I might go back and fix that. And this is like totally customizable, which is my favorite part. You could do this to suit your aesthetic. Now when Jerry did this, she added the cutest light bulbs. She filled light bulbs with snow, and she also hung those off, but I didn't have any of those. And I had to keep this project under $5. Well, about $5, so I didn't add them on. But you could totally add them on, and I probably will later on. And if I do, I'll take a picture and share it on my Instagram. That way you guys can see different ways to customize this decor piece. So like I said, I'm participating in No Junk January, so I'm basically just using everything. Like literally, you will see in a second. I got these on sale at Michael's, and they were originally $2, but I think I got them for like 60 cents each or something. I think 40 cents. They were ridiculously, I think they were 10 cents actually. I don't understand this sale, but I think I got them for a ridiculous price. So I got 5 of them. I take the tags off, which is literally the most difficult part of this DIY, taking off these tags. I don't have a heat gun. I heard those help. If you have a heat gun or a hair dryer, use that to take these off. It took forever. So I used 5 of these, and then I also use this hanging LED ornament from Dollar Tree. It lights up. I thought that was a pretty cool feature. My kids love it when decor pieces light up. So I put that in there for them. And then I also put in these, the last Let It Snow sign, because it comes 3 in a pack, and I'm going to use it all. So I use that as well. And then I also use these leftover snowflakes that we used in all these DIYs today, I think. And then I also used these that I also had left over, the same ones we used on the snowman wreath. And then I oh yeah, it's a 4-pack, so I used all of those. And is that it? Oh, the kitchen sink. No, I'm joking. All right, so I'm gonna take all of these and I'm gonna paint them different, just to give some variety in the piece. So I paint 2 of these using the antiquing wax, and this was what I used to paint them or wax them. I just used this very big sponge applicator. It just happened to be what I had on hand. It was closest to me, but it worked out. So I basically dipped half of it into the antiquing wax, and then I used the clean half of the sponge applicator to just blend the color and wipe off any excess. So it worked out pretty cool. So one of them I made completely solid in this antique color, and the other ones I just dry brushed. So I just made it lighter and lighter in wax, just to add some variety to the wreath. I'm sorry, to the hanging decor piece. So those two I set aside because I'm going to paint those in white. And then I took the other one and I made it completely solid, and I painted both sides on this one. Then I did the same thing with the other two pieces. I just kind of dry brushed those. And I do add a little bit of gold accents to some of them because, like I said, my home decor is neutral colors with hints of gold and silver throughout my living room. And every room in my house has a different aesthetic. I mean, I feel like it feeds my decor. Oh, my decor craving. There you go. It feeds my decor craving. Just to have a little bit, like my bedroom's more shabby chic. And my living room is more rustic with glam. I guess farmhouse glam, if that makes any sense. And then my kitchen is more like traditional, cutesy, gingerbread. Okay, so now I just paint this Let It Snow sign completely in gold, and then I paint one of these snowflakes in gold because it took a long time and I just wanted little hints of gold throughout. I don't paint anything silver, but you totally could. I just didn't want to waste the paint on the paper, to be honest. And I was like, this is gold. Now this gold color is called Antique Gold by Folk Art, and it's one of my favorite golds. I'm obsessed with gold. Like, it's a problem. I need to have all the golds. All right, so that's what it looks like. And then I just dry brushed the rest of the gold on the paper all over these snowflakes. And I love them so much. So it's definitely different, but it totally makes me happy to look at it. So I think it's great. Now I take the same white Adirondack paint by Folk Art Home Decor, and I'm gonna go ahead and paint this one snowflake a solid white color. And I paint the front as well as the back. And it totally helps to have a bigger paintbrush, but I was not going to go to another room because I don't know if you have little ones, but if they're entertained and distracted, you kind of don't want to pass by. Well, mom doesn't want to pass by. The moment mom passes by, all of a sudden they need mom. You know what I mean? So I was trying to stay as still as possible, and this paintbrush was the closest one next to me. My other paintbrushes are in the kitchen, so too far. Okay, so now I just use the rest of this paint to just dry brush, kind of like a rough paint job, and then I paint the inside of this one snowflake in white, just like I did with the gold. And I think that's almost it. I think I might paint that one in the back white as well. I just wanted a lot of variety in this wood piece, and this wood piece is like I said, a great way to use anything miscellaneous. I mean, literally, you can hang keys off of this. You can hang light bulbs like Jerry did. You can hang lace off of this. You can make tassels. You could hang fabric. You could hang spoons. You could hang anything and it will look good. I'm not even joking. What? Flowers. You can hang flowers off of this. You can hang candles off of this. You can hang herbs off of this. You can hang, I was about to say shoes, but baby shoes might be really cute too. I'm not even joking. You can hang dolls off of this. I think I can go on forever, so I'll just stop here. So now I'm going to take some white paint and I'm just going to kind of roughly paint the top to make it look like snow. You could totally use Epsom salt on the top here, you know, with some glue, school glue to adhere it, or some Mod Podge as well. You could use faux snow from Dollar Tree. You could use fluffing, batting. You could use anything to make it look like snow. However, I have children, and if it has something that looks like sugar, they're probably gonna try to eat the decor piece. So I just played it safe and put some paint. I was afraid that my toddler was gonna want to climb up there and gnaw on a piece of wood because he thought it was sugar. So that's why I chose not to do it. Where I'm hanging it in my house is right behind my couch, so there's a possibility he can get to it. You know what I mean? Okay, so now I'm just placing them on my work surface, kind of trying to distribute them in a way that looks interesting. I didn't want the colors too close to each other. I didn't want the same colors, sorry, close to each other. And now this is the part that I'm talking about. I should have cut off the hanger. I just wasn't thinking straight. So cut off the hanger, guys. Cut off the hanger that came on the ornament and just tie the twine directly to the snowflake and that little hole on the snowflake. It would come out better because it looks kind of messy. I thought that it would add to that rustic feel, but really now it's just annoying me. So I'm gonna have to redo this part of the DIY, which is not that hard to do. It's totally fine, not a big deal. We still inspire. I'm inspired, but yeah, you see, like, I don't know what I was thinking. Well, I wasn't. It was late. It was a long day. We've been through a lot as a family right now, so I forgive myself. I give myself some grace. But I still like this DIY. I mean, it's just 2 spots on this thing that are driving me nuts, but it's totally fine. We're gonna be fine. It's gonna be all right. So as you can see, I just tied on all of these snowflakes by double knotting them, securing with hot glue. That's what I did through this whole thing. Now I also attached the those little clear snowflakes, and they're not my favorite. I mean, keep saying wreath. I guess it is kind of a wreath. This wall hanging looked better. I mean, I think it looked good with just the natural organic colors to it, but it'll be fine. I'll fix it. Just on yours, you know, it's something to think about. I'm just sharing honestly. I'm honest on my channel, so if you like honesty and unsure about your home decor, subscribe for more ideas. And my Christmas tree is still up, and it'll probably still be up for the whole year because, well, my house, my rules, right? Okay, so once these are attached, I go ahead and I add this hanging portion, the light up one. I was considering adding those snowflake lights, the LED lights on a string, but I wasn't sure where to put the battery pack, so I didn't add it to this. But that would be cute too, around the stick. That'd be really sweet. My kids would like that too. I try to make home decor that my whole family enjoys, that speaks to our, you know, family life at home. And then I just take this let it snow sign, and I just hot glue it there to the top. I do recommend using Gorilla Hot Glue, high temperature, for this. And I'm not sure that this little word is going to survive because my kids are probably going to yank this. But it's okay. It's fine. It was under $5, which is why I love Dollar Tree DIYs, because they're under $5. Attainable to all, if you can find the supplies, of course. So now we're going to use some of the clear snowflake ornaments from the Dollar Tree. I put one behind the let it snow sign, and then I put a couple more around at random areas on this wall hanging. You could add some twine on both ends of this large stick as a hanger, but I'm just going to put this on some nails. I'm just going to rest this on a row of nails on my wall, and that'll be fine for me. It'll just help with that rustic feel. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you got an idea or two to incorporate into your winter home decor. This is perfect for the farmhouse or for woodland home decor. This is what these pieces are looking like in my home, and I absolutely love them. So thank you so much for watching. But that's it for my video today. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers. You guys are amazing. There is a giveaway on my last video, and I will announce the winner on the 9th of January. I hope you got snow in your area. I have yet to get snow. I want it to snow, so hopefully my video and all my home decor will send some snow vibes to the universe to send us some snow. Let me know which one was your favorite in the comments down below, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss when I upload a new video. Please don't forget to check out the playlist. There's a whole playlist link in the description box below, as well as in my comment section. There's tons of people that created today for the Let It Snow home decor DIY challenge. All right, that's it for my video. Thank you so much for watching, and take care. God bless. Catch you on the next one. Bye. If you like that video, here are some other videos you might enjoy.